Guys, I'm Today's Skin and today's video is going to be on a makeup tutorial, sort of me trying out products that are mostly less than 300 rupees. Now some of these products I've been using for a really long time and some of these products are pretty new to me. Like, I've got it for the sake of this video because I wanted to make it affordable and budget friendly for people who don't want to spend a lot of money on makeup. So I've used products mostly 300 and below, and this one product is 310 rupees, but again you can get it for a much lesser price when there's a discount and stuff like that. Like, the products I have tried out, some of it is really good, and even though it is very affordable, like the way it performs is really good, some of it is not good, so you get what you pay for. So yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So anyways, I'm going to be starting off with moisturizing my skin. I'm going to be moisturizing with this Garnier Wrinkle Lift Anti-Aging Cream. I'm going to be taking like a generous amount of this. Moisturizing my skin. In the winters, make sure that you moisturize your skin really well before you use any product, because your skin needs all that hydration and that moisture. I'm going to be starting off with my eye makeup, and I really don't have an eyebrow product that is under this budget because I usually fill in my eyebrows. As you guys can see, I have pretty full eyebrows, and I usually fill in my brows with eyeshadow. So I'll do that once I'm done with my eye makeup. So now I'm done priming my eyelid with a concealer that I'm going to be using in today's video as well. I'll show the concealer in a bit. I'm going to be setting it with a powder, which is the Maybelline Super Fresh Compact. So now let's move on to the eye makeup. Let me show you all the eye products that I've actually gathered for this video. Firstly, I have these Miss Claire single eyeshadows. These are the matte eyeshadows. And then I got some Miss Claire baked eyeshadow. This one is in the number 14, and this is like a very beautiful gold shade. I also have some PAC single eyeshadows, which I'm pretty sure is less than 300. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this in this video, but we'll see in case we need it. And also, of course, as usual, I have my Wet n Wild single glitter eyeshadows, which I love so much. And I also picked up an eyeshadow palette, which is the Wet n Wild Color Icon eyeshadow quad in the shade Flock Party. Now the reason I got this one is because it's like a palette, and if someone doesn't want to spend a lot of money on like single eyeshadows, if there's a palette that you can invest in and something that can be good, I wanted to just test this one out and see if it's any good. I will be trying to use these shades in this palette and then probably mixing it with the Miss Claire matte eyeshadows. So for transition, I'm going to be taking this shade, although this is not even like a transition shade for me. It's too light to be a transition shade for my skin tone, or I don't even think it's a transition shade for anyone. This is a shade you can use to set your eyelids with probably. So I'm going to be taking this Miss Claire eyeshadow in the number 05. This is a matte eyeshadow, and it's like a pigmented dark red shade with a lot of orange brown to it. I'm going to be taking very light amounts of this and adding it to my crease. As you guys can see, I don't want my crease to be very pigmented. I want it to be a wash of color. So I'm making sure that I don't apply too much pressure on the brush. I'm actually applying very little amounts of it. I'm going to be taking this shade and applying it just to the outer corner, just to see how it builds up. This eyeshadow doesn't look pigmented to me at all, so I'm like scratching my brush and then going to pack it on my outer corner. Can you guys see that? That just adds a very light flush of color on the outer corner. All I'm trying to do is like pack on this color on the outer V of the eye. So now for the inner part of my eye, I'm going to be taking this beautiful gold shade and applying it to the inner part of the lid. Okay, even this is not very pigmented, as you guys can see. So just to take the pigmentation of this like slightly up a notch, I'm going to be using this Miss Claire baked eyeshadow. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to wet this baked eyeshadow with some makeup fixing spray and then apply it on my lid. Oh yes, wetting the eyeshadow does the job. Oh my god, yes. Yes. That looks beautiful. So I'm going to be trying to use this Miss Claire eyeshadow in the number 07 just in the outer part, just to kind of like add a little bit of pigmentation to it. Oh yeah. That was the intensity I was looking for. And they even blend pretty well. Oh my god. Now, you can leave it at this. But I like to take it a step further. So I've never shown you guys this eyeshadow in action. This is the Wet n Wild Glitter single eyeshadow in the shade Toasty. So look at that. This can change any eyeshadow game in my opinion. Like look at that. That is just powder, but this adds a little bit of sheen to your eyelids and it just looks so beautiful. Now for my liner, I'm going to be using my favorite Blue Heaven Sketch eyeliner because this happens to be less than 300 rupees and it's amazing. So now I'm going to be leaving it at this. I'm going to be finishing off my face makeup. So for primer, I was searching on Nykaa for something that is affordable and that has pretty good reviews as well. So I got this Insight primer. This one is supposed to prime, protect and moisturize, and it's supposed to be long lasting and oil free. So this one was for 220 rupees and that's the reason I picked this one up. So this is what the primer looks like and it is a nice squeezy tube. So I'm going to be taking a little bit of this and applying it for my entire face. Okay, so this is what it actually looks like. It's very clear. It does fill my pores to an extent because it does have a very silicone texture. It does feel slightly greasy. So once I'm done priming for foundation, I'm going to be using this Lakme Invisible foundation. Now this foundation retails for 260 rupees. Now the base, that is the foundation, has to be really good and it has to be good quality. It has to have wide variety of color selection because it should match your skin tone well and the finish of it overall should look good. This is a decent foundation. I wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the worst among the lot, but they don't have a very good color selection in Lakme at all. In that matter, even the BB creams that you get in the Indian market and all that don't have very good color selection. So that's the reason I actually found it tough to get a base product that was affordable. It does have strong yellow tones to it. It does come with this paddle style applicator, but again, Lakme base products never work for me and I don't think it would ever suit me that well. Now to blend all this, I'm going to be taking this LA Girl sponge, which is my favorite sponge. You guys see that? Like that instantly vanishes. Especially with the sponge, I don't get coverage with this product at all. But I'm sure that the shade lighter than this is also going to look like this foundation shade, and the shade darker to this is also going to look like this shade. So that's the reason I recommended to invest in good foundations like the Maybelline Fit Me or the PAC HD, because you have some color selection in that and you can choose out of something from that, rather than sticking to something like this, because the finish of this foundation, it is pretty dewy and stuff like that, but on the skin it does look a little bit powdery. Because I've challenged myself to do this video and use products that are like less than a certain budget, that's the reason I'm using this. I mean, I can get it to work and it doesn't look very bad. Now for concealer, I'm going to be trying out this Star Cosmetics concealer in the shade medium. Now this one was for 250 rupees and this is what it looks like. I like my concealers to be liquid, but I couldn't find any concealer in that price range. So this is the concealer I'm going to be working with today. Because it's winter and stuff like that, it is a little bit dry. What I try to do is I like to rub my finger on this pot concealer and try to pick up as much product and warm the product up before I apply it. The shade as such is a good match for me. It is like exactly my skin shade. Now to set the concealer underneath my eyes, I'm going to be using this Rimmel Stay Matte powder. Now this one is for 250 rupees. I got this one in the shade 008. Now this is not my shade, but I like to use this to brighten up underneath the eyes, and it really sets everything in place when you use this, especially for people with oily skin. And if you do tend to get a little too oily too fast, you can use this powder for that. It's very affordable as well. So now we're going to be quickly finishing up the lower lash line. For the lower lash line, I'm going to be taking this shade, that is this shade number 05 from Miss Claire, and then taking the shade number 07 just on the outer corner. Then for kajal, I'm going to be using my Biotic kajal. This is very affordable and it's super nice when you want like a smudgy eyeshadow look. And now for mascara, I have this Maybelline Hyper Curl Volume Express mascara. It happens to be 310 rupees, okay? My bad. I have very sensitive eyes and I cannot risk it with any other mascara. So that's the reason I went with something from Maybelline, because Maybelline mascaras I've used all my life and I've not faced any issues with it, and this has pretty good reviews as well, so that's the reason I want to give it a try. And on sale you can get it for less than 300 rupees, so That's a good thing. So in terms of length and volume as such, it doesn't do much. It's just like the Maybelline Colossal Mascara. So if you have that, I don't think you have to try this one out. So now moving to the face. For blush, I have this Wet n Wild blush in the shade Mellow Wine. Now this is matte, unlike the other blushes that I have, which I am pretty happy with. I know I have gone a little overboard with the blush, but these blushes are really pigmented, and by the end, when I finish my makeup, the blush would almost fade away into nothing. So that's the reason I'm actually going a little heavy-handed with the blush. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my makeup with this Blue Heaven makeup fixing spray. Now this one retails for 300 rupees. So this is well within the budget. So let's try how this makeup fixer is. It does smell a little bit like hospital, like astringent or something. But I did like the nozzle in this. It was not too fine, but not too harsh again. Now for highlight, I have two options. One is the Wet n Wild highlighter in the shade Boozy Branch. You can get this on HOK Makeup for $2.99. So that's one option. And the other one I have is this Swiss Beauty highlighter in the shade 05 Champagne Pearl. Now this is a baked eyeshadow actually. It's not a highlighter. So because I like the shade when I was checking out the swatches, I thought I'll try this one out. Okay, this is turning out to be a lot more yellow on the skin. It's not champagne as such, but the formula is pretty good. It's a baked formula, so it looks nice on the skin. I also saw a lot of reviews that the Miss Claire baked eyeshadow in the number 13 is a pretty good highlighter as well. Now for lips, I'm going to be lining my lips with the Miss Claire lip crayon in the shade Maroon. Now this one was for 65 rupees and I did get it on sale for a much cheaper price. These are pretty creamy, as you guys can see, and easy to line. And then to fill in my lips, I'm going to be using this Miss Claire Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade 58. This is one of my favorite lipstick shades to use. And this is very affordable as well. This is for 295 rupees. So yeah, this is the finished look. So yeah, I hope you guys like the finished look, and I really like how my face looks. Like even the base and the foundation, I do really like how it looks. I mean, it's not the best. I have seen better days. My skin has seen better days and I've used better products, but for the price, it's not the worst. Now, if you don't want to use Lakme products, I completely understand. You don't have to. So other than the foundation and this Wet n Wild eyeshadow quad, which did not perform very well. I mean, this is something that you can probably avoid, and you can probably invest in these like single eyeshadows from Miss Claire. You don't have to go ahead and buy everything, like one dark brown like this shade in 05, one red shade in 07, and probably like some single eyeshadows that if you are someone who likes to use single eyeshadows, you can. Or of course you can use any palette of your choice. If you think that investing in a palette is better, you can of course go ahead and do that, but I couldn't find any palette as such that was decent quality to use for less than 300 rupees, and I really like how the outcome is, and I really like how it performed. I am someone who would use a palette any day over single eyeshadows, but here and there, once in a while, when I want certain shades and some pigmentation, I would probably dip into this for sure. So everything else other than these two products I feel like worked for me, and it turned out to be really amazing. Like the makeup fixing spray is pretty good for the price, and even the baked eyeshadow that I used as her highlighter turned out to be pretty good actually. I really like how it looks on my skin. I mean, like first when I applied it, I was like, whoa, that is yellow on my skin, but I'm starting to like how it looks on my skin, especially after the setting spray and after like melting it into my skin and letting it sink into my skin for a while. I really like how it looks. The blush looks amazing. The lipstick, the lip liner, the eyeshadows, and everything else fared pretty well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. These are some amazing products that I discovered, and I hope you discovered it along with me. Do let me know if you know some products that are less than 300 rupees that are amazing and that you think that I should be trying out. And anyways, do leave your future video requests down below as well for me to check out, for me to gather the products, and for me to film it for you guys. And don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.